Hi, Dave here. I'm back, and I wanted to discuss something that people have been asking me about or asking me to discuss here recently. And it's not really showing anything here. I'm not going to have multiple angles. I am going to intermix a few images in here to kind of show you what I mean. But this is more of a gun storage or firearm storage in general at home. And I want to kind of preface this with there is no one solution for everyone. Uh, Everybody's situation is going to be different. I'm going to kind of go over some of the different options. I'm going to kind of go over some of the different scenarios, and then I'm gonna explain what I do and why it works for me. The first option would be a gun safe, an actual gun safe, the large stand-up firearm, multiple firearm combination. Usually has a key backup in case it loses power. These are the thick ones. Liberty makes some really good ones, and this isn't a advertisement for any product in general. This is just reference. Stack On makes a couple of really thick, good, hard ones. I mean, and these are the ones where you are at a risk where somebody is going to break into your house. Somebody knows that you have a lot of firearms. You want to keep this stuff really secure. Maybe you have some firearms that are controlled firearms, like you have short barrel rifles, or you have silencers, suppressors. And these are things that are going to be regulated federally that you need to make sure are secure and are requiring some fully automatic weapons. If you have those, you have to have them in a secure stored location. So there is cause and reason for those. Then you have regular gun cabinets. And these could range from a wooden gun cabinet with a glass front. Usually these are locked. Stack On makes these metal ones that are fairly common. They're very inexpensive. And they come in pistol and rifle size. Yeah, often you see like the old movies where they have the glass-faced cabinet that's locked and it's wood framed. These are gun cabinets. Some of them can be secure. The stack-on ones and some of the off-brand ones are metal. They're reasonably secure. They're usually just a key. There's not really a combination, usually. Then you have things like hidden cabinets and hidden tables where a magnetic release or a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth signal will unlock these. And these are usually out in plain sight. These are usually for people who are concerned for their safety at their front door. They don't want to carry a firearm around their house, and they want to have easily accessible at their entranceway. So if somebody knocks or comes to their door, they can unlock it real quick, grab it, and they're ready to protect themselves. Also, people with larger properties where they don't want to keep all of their firearms in a safe or a cabinet, and they want to have it readily accessible at other parts of their house because they could be in another part of their house. Things like that. And there's positives and negatives to each one of these things, and we'll kind of go over a little bit of that. Then there's the personal safe. You have like the small combination and or key safes that you would have like next to your bed, or maybe in a closet or under a desk or in a drawer or something like that. And these are usually not really purpose built for pistols or anything like that in general. It's usually just something that you can buy inexpensively. And not everything has to be a purpose built for a pistol, just so we're clear on that. And then you actually have pistol safes, which are they come with either biometric, you've got combination ones, you've got key ones, you've got some that will unlock using a card. You've got some that will unlock. And in general, though, they're either biometric or combination with a key backup. Now, when it comes to your your storage of your firearms. This is going to be tailored more towards you and the factors in your life. So say you have a baby in the house and you can't, you don't want to leave it out, but your significant other actually is quite well versed with firearms. Like my wife, she's not an avid firearm person, but she knows how to handle them. She knows what to do with them. She knows how to keep safe around them. And if we had a baby in the house, a hidden shelf or a hidden cabinet would be sufficient, I think, for it. That way it is stored high or stored out of the way, and a baby would not be able to open this to get to it. This is something that you would, or if you're a single person or a couple that both of you know how to handle firearms, something like this could work for you. Obviously, there is the caveat that not everything is for everyone. But something like this could work for you. Now, if you had older children that you have not had the opportunity to train them with firearms and what to do around them and how not to act around them, or they're not acting in a way that makes you feel comfortable with them knowing that you have them or knowing where they are in the house or how to get to them, then you might not want something like this. With something like that, maybe a gun cabinet would be better, where it's just out of their ability to get into it, but you still have access to it, and you would probably carry the key to it or have the combination for it, like memorized or a key on you all the time. This is also something that may or may not work for you if you have a larger property or your gun safe or cabinet can't be where your front door is or where you would need to get to it. Pistol safes usually are pretty good, but they're expensive and not everybody can afford them. But they're usually pretty good with kids around because biometric, they're not going to be able to get into it. Combination, unless you're letting them see you actually fiddle with this, they're not going to be able to get into it. The key backup, well, there's always something you have to do with those. When it comes to personal safes, that's actually what I've chosen. I actually have a personal safe with a firearm in it. For when I'm not around. My wife knows where it is. She knows the combination. She can get into it. It's something that she can handle. And then I store the keys for my firearm cabinets inside there. So to get inside the cabinets with the majority of the firearms, you would actually have to know that combination and know how to get into that safe. And then get a key, know which key is for which one of the cabinets, because I have a pistol and a rifle cabinet. They are the metal type, the type that requires a key. And you would have to know which key goes to which one, and then you would have to go and take that and unlock it and access the firearms. Not all of them are loaded. Some of them are not loaded. Some have ammo available to them right there. Some are not loaded at all. And then, of course, there is the backup keys for all of these, and these go into a family safe, which is a lot more secure than the personal one, and that's hidden somewhere in the apartment. So to access these firearms, even if you don't know the combination, you would have to know where the family safe is, find it, unlock it, find the key for it, figure out which key is for which, then go to that. Without knowing, it's not something that you could readily do. This is how we choose to protect our family from doing something silly, like the kids getting attached or getting a hold of the firearms that they shouldn't. My wife and I have access to them if we need them. They're quickly accessible. At least one is. And then if it gets to the point where we need something more, the others are accessible as well. Now, there is another addition to this. There are hard-sided cases that are lockable or semi-rigid soft compact cases that are accessible and lockable that you could use to store other firearms that you wouldn't generally use, or maybe you want to put them away and hide them somewhere in the house. That may or may not be employed here at my house. I wouldn't be able to specify, but if the firearm is out and about and not in my general or my wife's general control at that very moment, you should know that every single firearm is locked away so my kids can't get to them. In my opinion, and this is, once again, as the channel is, my opinion, this is the safest way for my family to maintain the collection of firearms that we have. Now, if your family is of a different makeup, maybe it's just you and your significant other, and you both know how to use the firearms. Maybe you would be a little looser, or a lot looser. Maybe you would have a firearm sitting on the shelf somewhere behind a book. I don't know. If you or maybe your significant other isn't into firearms and does not like them, maybe you would employ something like this. I mean, something like this would also work, or something like my plan would also work for maybe you and a significant other that should not have access to a firearm. That maybe they're not allowed to have access, but you live in the same house. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to have a firearm as long as you take some precaution to make sure that individual doesn't get a hold of them. We've gone a long way around to get to the plan of how you store your firearms is really up to you, but I do urge everyone to store them in a safe manner. I think everybody should have the right, unless they lose that right, to protect themselves. And by losing that right, I mean it has been proven in court that they should not have that right to protect themselves. I think everybody should have the right to do it. I think everyone should be trained the proper way to handle and maintain a firearm. And I think that if it's done in a safe and legal manner, there should be no reason why there should be accidents in the home. And it's unfortunate that these things do happen. But these are my opinions. Feel free to leave a comment below if you disagree with me. That's fine. Tell me why. Don't just say, oh, well, you're an idiot because blah. No, tell me why you disagree. Why would you feel that your opinion in my situation is more important? Or tell me what you do to store your firearms. How do you maintain a system like this, or do you just have them in a safe somewhere? Do you guys own any of these hidden cabinets, hidden tables with the drop-down parts and the pop-out sides and stuff like that? Let me know how those work out for you and if they're as secure as they seem. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. If you feel this was good information, please share it out to people that you know. If you want, you can check out my wife and myself. Every Friday night we stream on Twitch. We do classic games, NES and NES, just a bunch of different classic games. I guess they call them retro games now. But go ahead and check us out. I'll put up a link up here. And this is David, and I'll see you again next time.